So, Beth, they say that elephants never forget, but I'm not so sure that the same is true for dogs. Pip, our dog, he definitely remembers people and places and gets very excited when we visit his favourite places. But some of the blogs that I've read are saying that dogs have maybe 2 minutes a maximum memory. And to be honest, there are times when Pip doesn't seem to remember something from 1 minute to the next. Now, you've been doing a survey on people's perceptions on dog memory. What's the story from that, Beth?
Well, the answer there is it was quite surprising. Over 600 people voted, and 60 plus percent of them either said, I don't understand it, or I'm not sure about how dogs remember, how their memory works. And we were thinking today we might, bring a little bit of information to you and help you figure this out because it's a complicated subject, that's for sure.
So, we've got two ends of the spectrum here. We've got dogs that remember places right from sort of puppyhood to, well, Pip is now, he'll be 13 on his next birthday. And yet we're reading that a dog's memory lasts for about 2 minutes before they forget something. What's nearer the truth, or are they both true?
Well, I think it's a question of what part of the dog's memory is operating. Is it the short term memory, or is it, I mean, they don't have memories like we do, which is a chronologically packed thing that while we do remember short term things, we have long term memories. Theirs is different. It's somewhat episodic. There's a great deal of controversy. But I think that the evidence proves out there's a little bit of both there. And if you learn to work with your dog and understand these things, it can make really having a dog a lot more fun and teaching them far less frustrating.
So, if we're talking about a very short term memory, um, what sort of impact does that have on things like training your dog or teaching it that you don't like something that it's done?
Um, Simple. The best lessons for a dog are short. They're quick. They're a couple of points. You don't want to get deeply. You don't have a long teaching evolution with them on anything. Doesn't matter whether you're teaching them to sit, to shake hands, to catch balls, whatever it may be. Teach them in small increments. That's the best thing, and reinforce it positively. And I'm going to make a plug here for positive reinforcement. Um, there is a school of thought in teaching dogs that says negative reinforcement can be have more impact. And I'm like, my guys have been taught on completely positive reinforcement. And, essentially it means when they do the right thing, they get positive feedback. And if they don't get it right, we try it again. It's just as simple as try it again. And if they don't get what you're doing, it's probably boils down to something like you need to break whatever it is you're teaching your dog down into smaller pieces. And once they get the smaller pieces, add them together slowly, your dog will figure it out. Just remember to have treats or balls or whatever motivates your dog. Have them at hand. And, as I said recently, start the treat buffet. If your dog is a treat person and is motivated by treats, always have high value treats with you when you're teaching your dog. It's really important.
What about when things go wrong? I'll give you an example. When he was a puppy, Pip chewed up the lid of a set of Friends videos or DVDs that my daughters had, and they were absolutely furious with him, but nobody saw him do it. Uh, can you make the dog understand that that is something that you don't want it to do, given that it's happened more than 2 minutes ago?
No, you can't. Unless you really catch a dog in the act of, destroying something or grabbing something they shouldn't, or counter surfing, or whatever it is you don't want them doing. It is a really, really unproductive thing, even if it's 30 seconds ago, to say no, because that no could be, well, anything I did in the last 30 seconds. So what was it they really didn't want me to do? And while that sounds puzzling to us, it's very simple. Dogs literally do live in the moment. And unless you catch them in the moment, it's really unproductive to, get cross with them, yell at them, do anything like that. You're not helping yourself. You're not teaching your dog anything. Even, if your dog's had an accident on the floor. If it was 10 minutes ago, they're going to go, okay, you're yelling at me. And they may figure out if it's if it's a house trained dog and they have had an accident, they may figure it out, but getting mad is unproductive as well. One of my field coaches has said to me very early on, don't ever train a dog mad. The worst thing you can do, because the dog will pick up lessons you don't want them to, which is, if you do anything, it will get me angry. And that can freeze a dog up literally in its tracks while you're trying to teach it. And believe me, I have caused myself my own problems over the course of time. I've been training my guys, and I have had to learn that if I'm in a bad mood, it's not a time to train the dog. If I'm cranky or I'm not having a productive session teaching the dog, walk away. Just don't teach, because you're not in the right mindset.
Sure.
And it's just, you don't want to go there.
Can I ask, when we drive somewhere that Pip knows that he's had a good walk before, he gets very excited, jumps up and down in the car and barks and all the rest of it. How come he remembers that, but he doesn't remember what he's been doing 2 minutes ago?
I think it's just part of the episodic nature of some of their memories. And I'm not going to say this is a hard over black and white thing. There's a great deal of controversy online about this. If you read about dogs and memory, you'll find that there just is. And it's really, I think that you just have to realize that when they go somewhere and they do something they enjoy, and then they do it again and they do it again, those are moments they catch and they will remember. They'll remember bad as well as good. But my dogs go absolutely bonkers when we go to a place that they really love to train that's owned by one of their favorite people. And they absolutely lose their minds. And they normally don't do that, but they really do when they go to her house. First turn is by a lumber mill, and as soon as they see that lumber mill, they could have been driving along for 2 hours having no idea we're going there. But they see that lumber mill, they start getting excited. And when they turn into the driveway, they're like, oh, damn, let's have a parade for this. This is awful good. So
you're listening to the Golden Retriever Channel podcast with Beth and Brian. Good afternoon to you. Great to have you with us.